Roger Federer might be one of the greatest players to ever play the game of tennis, but when it comes to making all that dough and flaunting millions of dollars, no one comes close to the Swiss sensation himself. I mean, check this out! Roger Federer is the only tennis athlete to achieve a billion-dollar status in tennis history. Ever. And when it comes to spending that cash like it's nothing, nobody does it like the Swiss king. In 2014, Federer forked out an incredible sum of $7.3 million to get himself this beautiful mansion in his home country in Switzerland. And today, we're taking you on a tour on what exactly makes this Zurich home fit for a king like Roger. Roger Federer's villa is located in Wollerau and built in such a way that it overlooks Lake Zurich. Here's the first thing you notice about the villa. It's got glass windows that go from the floor to the ceiling. Technically, it's a glass house, so we're pretty sure nobody throws stones around here. Roger built this house from scratch in 2014, over 6 years after he bought his first home in Bach in 2008. Interestingly, the former tennis star's 2014 home is only a stone's throw from the first, which suggests that Roger really likes the area, or just being around Lake Zurich. Anyway, everything about his 2008 home was kept shrouded in mystery. Nobody knows how much he paid for it, or how big it was. And when he finally sold the home in February 2014, not a lot of fans cared about it. But we really can't say the same for this 2014 Zurich home. First of all, it appears to have become Federer's family home. The house has got 3 stories, which includes 2 separate apartments. In one of these apartments are his parents, Robert and Lynette Federer, and the other apartment is for him, his wife, and kids. Now, you must be asking yourself, what's so special about this house that Federer was willing to shelve millions of dollars for it? Well, for starters, it's located in one of the lowest tax municipalities in the whole of Europe, and this has made it a hot spot for some of the world's richest superstars. In fact, some of Roger Federer's neighbors include F1 drivers Kimi Räikkönen and Felipe Massa. Sitting on 1.5 acres, this house was built entirely from scratch, so most of its features are world-class and state-of-the-art. The swimming pool has got a spa, while the gym has some equipment that you'd only find at world-class sports centers. Also, this is the gym Roger Federer trained at for 8 years before finally retiring, and it ensured that the star was on top of his game. True fans also know that Roger Federer has one of the sickest Mercedes-Benz collections, so he's definitely going to need a huge car park for all of them. And what's better than having an underground car park? Remember how we said that Roger Federer must like Lake Zurich? Well, we've got another reason to believe that this love heavily influenced the architecture of this house. Why? Because you can see the lake from almost every point in this house. In fact, if you simply want to wash your hands, the sinks are located in areas where you can enjoy a perfect view of the lake. The master bedroom is no doubt a chill zone. It's got huge windows that let in sunlight and cool laminated floors. And guess what? There's an attached bathroom with double sinks and a fancy marble bathtub. But despite this luxurious design, this bedroom still manages to give off a laid-back and minimalist style. I mean, take a look at how the bedroom spills into the balcony, which has very comfortable outdoor chairs and hardwood flooring. Having a fireplace is super cool, right? But having a huge stone fireplace that rises through 3 different floors is just another level of insanity. And that's the sort that Roger Federer has in this house. There's no single doubt that Roger has built this house because of his family, because he even once mentioned that he built his home because he believed it was an ideal family home for his wife, Mirka, and their 4 children. He's always had a great relationship with his parents, so it only made sense that he would want them around. And did you know that his parents once made him promise that he would raise his kids the same way they raised him? In several interviews, Roger mentioned that while growing up, his parents never forced him to do anything, and always gave him the chance to explore whatever he wanted to. And this is the philosophy he'd like to also have with his kids, so it really wouldn't hurt having his parents around to offer some help. Roger Federer is perhaps one of the most private individuals in the world of sport, so nobody's been really surprised at the fact that he's never granted a tour of his home. In fact, there's no picture whatsoever of him or any of his family members in this house. But this property, despite being a perfect haven, is not Roger Federer's most expensive property. As a matter of fact, his property portfolio is pretty much on the same level with some billionaires. Let's check it out. At some point in this video, I mentioned that Roger bought his first house in 2008 and sold it in 2014. Well, it turns out that the tennis star bought more than one property that year. According to reports, Federer bought a beautiful property in Valbella, a Swiss village in the Lenzerheide Valbella ski area. The area is known to be a hotspot for tourists and holiday goers, so it really wasn't a shock that Roger got a place around. But according to a local Swiss newspaper, Roger tore down the place and remade it into a modern mountain pad, one which features open spaces and a custom woodwork pattern. Since Roger was still at the peak of his career at the time he bought this pad, it has a tennis court, which he regularly used for practice. But do you think he'd use it as much these days? Maybe not. In 2021, 13 years after getting that property, he finally explained why he did. In an interview with the New York Times, he said, "One of my goals when I retire is that I'll have time to explore our mountain bike trails. Mountain biking has become really big in Switzerland because we want to make the mountain regions year-round destinations." I guess we'd expect to see Roger and his family go mountain biking when the holiday season starts. And this family will definitely include his parents, because Roger owns a chalet right beside his mountain pad, which is used by his parents. Roger loves his home country, but that doesn't mean he hasn't gotten some properties somewhere else. Did you know that he spent over $23 million on a penthouse in Dubai? This property is located in Dubai's exclusive Reve, which means the dream, and when you discover what's inside, you'd understand where the name comes from. The apartment sits in one of the most exclusive skyscrapers in Dubai, and it features 5 bedrooms, all of which have an ensuite bathroom. The master bedroom is even more magical. It has a dressing room that is almost as big as an entire house, and a walk-in closet. The pictures we've seen show one thing: this property is nothing but a show-off. Come on, coffered ceilings, marble floors, a backyard view of multi-million-dollar yachts? This was built for only the rich and affluent. This apartment also works with a smart home system, which allows occupants to control lights, music, temperature from any part of the house. And it gets even crazier. Roger Federer can call for a helicopter, a private jet, or a yacht with a single button. If that isn't class, then I really don't know what is. And if you think owning a $23 million penthouse is crazy, wait until you hear how Roger got the house. He once said of Dubai and the house, "I remember it was brutally hot, I think like 39 degrees Celsius every day. But I had a good time practicing, it was peaceful and quiet, and I kind of enjoyed it here. I was like, I think this works well for practice and leisure." The next thing I knew, I had an apartment. The former #1 also has a 16,000 square meter plot in Rapperswil-Jona, Switzerland, and even though the property is still under construction, reports say that this might eventually cost around $50 million when completed. We don't know how much he paid for the plot in the first place, but it's definitely nothing shy of a few $1,000,000. Are there any ideas what this new home could have? Well, previous blueprints have shown that it will include a classroom, an indoor sports area, which consists of a gym and a spa, and of course, a tennis court. Roger Federer sure knows how to spend his millions on the most beautiful and luxurious properties. And this makes us wonder if the tennis legend will be adding to his portfolio again sometime soon. I guess we'll all have to wait and find out. What do you think of his home collection? Let us know in the comments section down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to learn more interesting things about your favorite tennis players.